democracy, freedom. I gotta press OK. Freedom. Um, in my lifetime, which is 81 years, I've never seen real freedoms removed. I've seen a steady rise to including everybody because I lived through the civil rights time, and my mother was an activist at that time in Vancouver, Washington. So I grew up in her shadow. I never knew any different. And then after all the work that went in to bring about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, to really see it being stripped away before our very eyes is an amazing thing. It gives you, I don't even know why. I have no answer. I know there's only a few things that we here can personally do about it. So I can speak more on that later, but we're working on it.
And you have all those kids there come to your place, to your house, to jam pack, and they've been learning bluegrass music and jamming and playing together for all this time. And you take them to festivals, and it's really remarkable. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you, Jefferson.
And so Sparky and Rhonda, as I mentioned, I've known you all for a long time, but you've been playing music for freedom and democracy for a long time. And maybe you can give a little bit of background and some of what you've done and what you're thinking about now, and how's it going? I very much appreciate having you in this conversation.
Appreciate you having us. Sparky got his start performing in the civil rights movement. He's been performing full time over 50 years. But he lived at one point in time, just a few blocks away from the Highlander Center, which was very instrumental in training people in the civil rights movement, the labor movement originally, and later the civil rights movement. You want to talk a little bit about?
Well, the Highlander Center started back in the 20s, early 30s.
Early 30s, yeah.
And in a little town called Mont Eagle, Tennessee, which is about halfway between Nashville and Chattanooga on I-24. This was during the time that I got involved with it, was during the Cold War, when people of my age as little kids in school, we were taught to be fearful of Russia and what was going on with the nuclear arms race. I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee, which was about 30 miles from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which was one of the places during the Manhattan Project. So we always knew we were targets. If there would be some nuclear war, we were going to be hit. And so they were teaching kids to duck and cover. Yeah. You remember that, Amy? Oh,
yeah.
I do.
Desk.
Yeah, and dropping down beside your desk and covering up. And of course, they would say, well, cover your face and take your other hand and cover your neck. And me being the strange person that I am, I said, well, all that's going to do is fuse all of our body parts together, but then it gives them something to use as a handle to drag the bodies away. But one other thing they did in our schools was we were issued dog tags so that our bodies could be identified. Now you think about the fact that you're in elementary school and this is what's facing you. And I remember that I would try to store food in cans, in the pantry, saying, well, we'll use this in case of a nuclear emergency, and here's some bottled water. And then, of course, my mother would say, well, what am I going to fix for dinner? Where'd all those cans of beans go that I was going to use? And she'd go to my stash of food that I was saving for nuclear war. And she said, well, we need to eat this now. And then I hear that there's music down at Highlander. There's music down there. I go, well, I was always known as that little singing boy when I was growing up, just all the time, because I grew up happy. I'm a glass half full person. No matter what, I always think that there's going to be a better day. My wife, Rhonda, tells me that she's a glass half empty. So between the two of us, maybe we got a little water left in our glass. But anyway, I went down to hear this music, and there's this man with a long neck banjo named Guy Carawan, and he's playing a song called Old Man Atom, ATOM. And it talks about nuclear disarmament and talk about all the times that we'd had nuclear explosions. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Alamogordo, New Mexico, all the places. And I thought, man, this is somebody trying to do something in a positive way. I can do this the same. I can sing songs. I can maybe make people understand what they're doing that's wrong. And my granddaddy was a Church of God, sanctified preacher, so I knew how to preach to people. And when Highlander moved to Knoxville, I could walk down. It was about 6 blocks from where I lived. I could walk down and hear music, and that's when I first met Pete Seeger, Bernice Regan.
Oh yeah.
Some of the people that ended up being mentors to me as I got older. In fact, talking about the Highlander Centers, I see Saul Brody's in the crowd there. That's why I met Saul Brody at the 40th anniversary of Highlander Center, and he and I became very good friends. And every time I'd go to Philadelphia, I had a place to stay. Isn't that right, Saul? And so I know music works. I know music brings people together. That's the one thing, the advantage of the civil rights movement that I was very heavily into, was to be able to use music to take off the fear of the Klan that's burning torches outside the church that you're in there talking about what's going to be your next strategy. And I was at this age immortal. You know what I mean by that, don't you, Jefferson? Back when we were young, we think nothing can stop us.
Yep.
And the music helped me to make it through this time. And that story that I told you last time about, I feel like I'm that little Dutch boy with my finger in the dike. People say, well, what are you doing? You can't hold it back. I said, well, as long as I got my finger in there, we're safe. If I pull my finger out, then I'm going to let everybody die. I can't let that happen on my watch.
Yeah, that's it's so important, and you're so inspiring to me, Sparky. I see we finally got on Facebook Live, so I'm just going to remind everybody this is Planetary Gig Society, and we're having a conversation about music and democracy, and hope it goes okay and no more technical difficulties. We're talking with Annie Beach and Sparky and Rhonda Rucker, and I think it'd be great if. I really have been thinking a lot about what are the obligations of musicians at this time, because I feel like we need the music of the '60s now. The people need some direction or inspiration to be able to get a little more coherent, a little more harmony in our society. So how about Sparky and Rhonda, do you think you'd like to do a song?
Sure. Yeah, we can do something.
Do a couple little songs, if that's okay.
Well, one thing I want to say is,
go ahead.
Everybody loves music, but everybody has to participate when we're singing together on the picket line. It's not just somebody entertaining.
Right.
We're all singing together, and that's part of what makes us strong. Rhonda's going to sing.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight you, Rhonda, and if everybody's muted, that's good.
This is one that I think kind of demonstrates or shows you how important music is. It comes out of my home state of Kentucky. 1931, Harlan County. And there was a war going on, a war between the coal mining companies and the coal miners, the union people. And there was a woman that lived there named Florence Reese, and her husband Sam was a union leader. He was a coal miner.
It's our song.
Yeah.
And anyway, he
I'm gonna
yeah,
need
that
you
threw me
again.
off.
Oh, it was,
What?
You're
he was
talking
gonna
about
be there in
Florence
Oh
Reese.
yeah, okay. So
Kill
it
Sam.
yeah. Anyway, so Florence Reese lived there. Sam was her husband, union leader. He was a and then there was a sheriff in town named J.H. Blair. Nasty, no good sheriff. I mean, and I tell you what happened in those days, and sometimes now too, is the coal mining companies would bribe the law enforcement people, and they had done that with J.H. Blair. They had done that, and so he had his orders to go to the Reese household to do away with Sam. So he took all of his cronies. They went to the Reese household, knocked on the door. Florence answered. She told him Sam wasn't there, but they didn't believe it. They went inside anyway. They ransacked the house. And when they didn't find him, they set up watch outside. That was a long night, needless to say, for Florence. Sam got wind of what was going on, and he made himself scarce. But Florence was pacing the floor, and she thought a lot that night, and she was trapped inside of that house with her 7 children and all those gun thugs outside. And she thought about everything they'd had to do. They had to take a 10% pay cut, even though they were already living in poverty. And how dangerous it was to be a coal miner. And when her husband went to work in the morning, she didn't know if he was going to come back in a pine box later that day. All those thoughts were going around in her head. Some words came to her, and she tore off a page of the wall calendar and jotted them down. She put those words to a tune that a lot of people knew in that day. That song became one of the most famous songs in labor history. But not just labor. 30 years later, they dug it up and sang it during the Civil Rights Movement. It's been sung on the other side of the world. It's been sung wherever people are fighting against oppression. The labor people, though, they knew how important music was. They had a saying, "Beware the movement that sings." Beware the movement that sings. Because music is that powerful. This is the song that Florence wrote. I'm going to do her version. It's a good sing-along.
They say in Harlan County there are no neutral states.
side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?
Florence Reese. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. I'm going to ask you to unmute and all. I love that song. It's such a great song. And a unique thing that's just happening here right now is that I love that song and kind of put some different words to it a little bit. And Annie Beach and Jam Pack play Which Side Are You On? They play
Boys.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell them, Annie.
I know we were going to do it. I'm fascinated by the whole story. As soon as you said Florence, I don't know the whole story, but I know about her writing it and that. Jefferson did some different words to it, different verses, and we copped his and made it like, here's our first verse. Jam packed stands on the side of love with hope for one and all, making music strong and bright and always standing tall. Which side are you on? So we've got other verses, same thing, but we played off of what he did. And it's just a very, I'm glad to know all the history, Rhonda. That's fascinating.
I didn't know Florence Reese, but Sparky did.
You knew
Leonard
her?
Highlander.
You knew everybody. Anyway, that
I remember I first heard of it, Hazel Dickens singing it.
Yeah, Hazel was
Really?
always, that was one of her favorites to sing.
oh my goodness.
And I was telling another musician, Stephen Ray, he's the bass player for Weird Al Yankovic, happened to be having this conversation, and I said, I like it, but which side are you on? It kind of assumes, there's us versus them. And he said, well, you can be on the side of love or on the side of, against fascism, what have you. And so I changed words around sometime, and I'll have to play it for you at some point. But it's a great song. I'm so glad you did that and gave the history, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good song to be able to put a lot of different verses to it, and so it's adaptable to a lot of movements.
Yeah.
And that, it makes it a great song for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask Sparky one thing right now. You had mentioned that a lot of the times on the picket lines or when you were marching, that there wasn't necessarily a song. You and Elijah Wald were talking about this when we had our Planetary Gig Talk live podcast. You said that you just started really making some sounds, and then you'd start throwing out some words and lyrics. In other words, you'd almost create the songs on the line.
On the line, right.
Could you explain that? Maybe we need to know a little bit about that now in these, hands-off marches these days.
Well, I can give you a particular incident. My hometown at that time was Knoxville, Tennessee. Third or fourth largest city in the state. Right up, it's, Smoky Mountains are not too far away and whatnot. In East Tennessee, where they were Lincoln Republicans, they'd been Lincoln Republicans since the Civil War. So it was an interesting kind of dynamics there. There wasn't the heavy hatred that you found in other places. It was more just political. And we got the permission to march from the black section of town where I lived down Vine Street, cross Central, up on Gay Street, the main street, the main street in the down
drag.
in Knoxville, and we're walking along, and two of Father Jones's sons, Matthew and Marshall Jones, who were part of that second group of SNCC Freedom Singers were home, and so they were part of the march as well. And we're singing
We mute you, Annie.
Hands on the plow, hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize, hold on. And they started making up a song, a verse about Chief Ray Wilkerson, who was the safety director and one of the people we had to deal with all the time, safety director of the Knoxville Police Force. And so we're marching along, and all of a sudden, one of them broke out, Chief Ray Wilkerson ain't got no sense, trying to stop us with violence. Keep your eyes on the... And we were having a good time clapping and singing. And Father Jones turned to his son and said, stop that, boys. I told you not to do a verse like that. We're trying not to make these people mad. But being young and full of vim and vigor and immortal, we sang the song anyway.
Yeah, so I'll ask.
Well, just like the verse that in the song. Oh God, give me the song we were talking about. Maybe singing later.
I'm sorry. Stay on the battlefield.
No.
Oh,
Just a second. I'm having a senior moment. I'll tell you later.
That's Jam Pack back there singing. And
Why don't we get them to?
are you ready to do a song, Annie?
You want? Okay, come on. They're
So,
all, I can hear everything they're doing. We'll pick something besides what, because we have a lot. There you go. Here.
okay,
How do we do?
sing a little bit too.
What do you want to do? This little light? How about this little light? I'm gonna say something first. Get up close. We're gonna do a different song because they just did it. The real one.
Or do you want to do your song? You
I
can.
think you ought to do your version of it.
Should we
do
do
your
the
version.
version that we do? Okay, we're gonna do Which Side Are You On, boys?
Okay. Can you,
Get
can you-
everybody. Bass player, where's everybody? Come on, Franya.
can you move the screen a little bit so we can see them?
Tell me what to do.
The camera.
The camera. I'm gonna just
Okay, here we
put
go.
that in the sun.
Jam Pack is coming.
Okay, get everybody. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up. They're waiting.
This is every day at Jam Pack, I think.
There's a whole bunch, even babies practically.
A lot of wonderful human beings there.
Here. Okay. Is that good? Okay, get your
Okay, I'm
face.
going to spotlight you all.
Huh? Do whatever. Oh, can I? Before we start, Jefferson.
Yeah, go ahead.
I felt, well, back in 2006, we had a big attack out here where migrants were being swept up, and a church came up with this saying, stand on the side of love. And during this time, I thought we need a mantra. This is what we're promoting. We have these little cards. Jam Pack stands on the side of love. And I even during COVID had it tattooed on my arm. Jam Pack, where's Jam Pack? I don't know, there it is. Stands on the side of love. In order to give us something to fasten on in all of these different situations that we're faced with. And so this is what came out of it. Jam Pack stands on the side of love. Which side are you on, boys? Okay. Go. Get your verses up.
Could you introduce everybody and have them say their names, Annie?
Sure. Say your name.
My name is Oculus.
All right. Come on.
My name is Nolan.
Hurry.
I'm Jade.
I'm Ryland.
Will?
My name's Will.
I'm Frania.
Hi.
Ready?
Thank you so much. This is really appreciate your playing that song.
Thank you.
Where are you all located? Where do you live?
We're in Chandler, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Right in the old part of Chandler. This is my home, very crowded, as you could see.
Yeah, I just was curious what part of the country you were in.
Yes. Yeah. We're in the United States of America, or what we hope is. Do you want us to then come back again?
You want to do another song and maybe just while you're all there?
Just, it'd be easier.
This land.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What do you want to do? This land is your land?
No.
Huh?
My bad.
Why?
No.
This little light of mine?
We already did that.
Well, you did that as
I
a...
have like
We didn't hear it.
I have extra verses. to
What?
this section.
Come on, hurry up.
Is it line 9?
This little light of mine. Key of G. You want to kick it off?
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. That's good. Thank
great.
you.
Man,
Okay.
that's a beast of a 12-string guitar there too.
Isn't that?
Yeah, look at that thing. Woo!
Yeah, he loves it too. It makes lots of noise.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Like lead belly. Like
I'm
lead
sorry
belly.
you couldn't see everybody. There's a whole bunch back there, but these are great guys.
Oh, they're great. They're great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Are they
Appreciate
excused?
it.
Very good.
Keep it up.
Wave. Everybody wave. These are the warriors out there.
Yeah. Well,
While we're just sitting around playing songs too, there are people also doing the really heavy work.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank
can
you.
say if you want, but it's going to be.
So that's just amazing to me. That
Thank you.
Are you gonna sing one?
Go. Keep going.
Annie is just doing such a great job out there.
I don't know.
Basically opening up her house to all these young humans who are learning to play music, and it's fabulous.
They just keep coming.
Go ahead. Can you know how to put down the screen?
Oh, do I know how to, wait, where am I? Oh, this way.
Just a
Okay.
little bit so we can see you a little bit better.
I
Okay.
was good at this during COVID because I was on all the time. That's how we practiced. Everybody in their own homes, and we put on shows, but I've forgotten now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any thoughts about that, Sparky and Rhonda? What we just observed about Jam Pack? About those
I
young
think it's
people?
great. Like I said, I've been waiting for these reinforcements.
Yeah. Well, let me do a song, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. About time.
And this is one. Ola Belle Reed, Gandhi and Rhonda, Sparky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did a tour with her with the Southern Folk Cultural Revival Project.
Oh my gosh. She's a big deal. I know there was a book about her that the Smithsonian did.
Yeah.
And my cousin, an anthropologist, Henry Glassie, when he was a teenager, used to go up where she lived, I guess up near the Panhandle in the mountains.
Well, she lived in Rising Sun, Maryland. I was going to ask you whether you knew Henry Glassie. He's your cousin. Okay. I studied with Henry Glassie at Penn.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
They lived in Rising Sun, Maryland, but they were originally from North Carolina. You're right. The family moved up to, as a lot of people from that area of North Carolina and Tennessee moved up to southeastern Pennsylvania and the Maryland border.
That's where it was. I didn't visit there. I didn't know about it. It was a little bit before my time, but in a way. But the way this happened, and I'm a spotlight, and if anybody wants to mute so it works out okay. Let's see here.
Did I do it? Wait.
Spotlight for everyone. Here, you're good. You're good. Here we go. Just making this up as we go along. So, you also know Sparky and Rhonda, Jackie Merritt and MSG. And they were doing a house concert at our house a few years ago. This was before the pandemic, I guess. And Jackie was all excited. She said, I heard this song by this musician, Ola Belle Reed, and it's so great, and all musicians should learn to play it. And I don't think it's one of her more famous ones or one that people know as much, but I love it, and I'll try to do it some justice here. It's called Tear Down the Fences. You can hear me okay? Sunday morning, sun's a shining, flowers blooming everywhere. Birds are singing, soft winds blowing, whispering a message that's in the air. If I could have one wish and know that it would come true, I'd wish that God would give us strength to know just what to do. And we could tear down the fences that fence us all in, fences created by such evil men. No, we could tear down the fences that fence us all in, and we could walk together again. Sunday morning, dark clouds rising, there's no sunshine anywhere. Strong winds blowing, God give us a wisdom to grasp this message that's in the air. If I could have one wish and know that it would come true, I'd wish that God would give us strength to know just what to do. And we could tear down the fences that fence us all in, fences created by such evil men. Oh, we could tear down the fences that fence us all in, and we could walk together again. Oh, we could walk together again. Oh yeah, we could walk together again. Okay, thank you. I guess I'm kind of in charge of production at the same time. Here, let's see. Everybody unmuted? Has to unmute.
No, I'm unmuted, but I'm not. But I haven't been able to start my video. You turned me off.
Okay, yeah.
Not that everybody needs to see my face.
Did you want to say something about Ola Belle Reed?
I think I said what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, she did a lot of festivals up in this area, Pennsylvania, and a whole lot of folk festivals all over the country. And she died about, I don't know, it must be 25 years ago now.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. So, Rhonda and Sparky, do you have another song you'd like to do, or any comments you want to make before that?
Oh, yeah, he's going to do one. I think she may have written that, as best I could figure out, in the 1970s, and it's just amazing how relevant it is for today.
I know.
Yeah, a lot of this music is still relevant. Why we're doing it
She
and
was
talking
a
about
force
it.
to be reckoned with.
Oh, Ola Belle was?
Yeah. I love being around her. I mean, we laughed a lot, and it was on the same tour, and Nimrod Workman was on that tour as well. But we had a good time.
Wow.
This is one that I think works well on picket lines and the sit-ins and whatnot. It's very old. People think it's was a slave song, but it certainly gained a lot of attention in the early 1900s when it found its way into hymnals. And some of the inspiration was from the Old Testament, Jeremiah and Psalms. So when you try to make a statement, you get one of those Psalms, you can straighten people out. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom, and we shall not be moved. Fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We're young and old together, hey Jam. We shall not be moved. Young and old together, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be That planted by the water, we shall not be.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you. It's an inspiring song. It makes the hair on your arm stands up. We got some more Jam Pack folks there. Hi, everybody. How you doing? You know what I might like to do is I got one more song I could play for you all. It's actually for you all, you Jam Pack folks there. It's a song my wife and I wrote. It's called Our Grandchildren Are Watching. And then what I'd like to do, I appreciate everybody who's in the studio, and we just wanted to kind of have the camera on us so we could get through the conversation and the talking. But right after this song, anybody wants to get on screen and talk about any of this, that would be most excellent. Okay, so can you all let me spotlight this, I guess. You hear okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's go to the river. She's calling us all. Life-giving water. How can we not heed her call? And let's run through the forest and hug a couple old trees. They know more than we do and give us the air we breathe. And we can climb a mountain and go where the snow had been. Mother Earth is asking to balance her again. Can you smell the flowers? Hear the geese in fall? Taste the honeysuckle and feel the wonder of it all. This is the time for us to remember who we are. If not us, then who? Who will come to the rescue? So call the sisters and call the brothers too. Our grandchildren are watching what we're gonna do. That's why this is the time for us to remember who we are. If not us, then who? Who will come to the rescue? So call the sisters and call the brothers too. Our grandchildren are watching what we're gonna do. Our grandchildren are watching. So what are we gonna do? Thank you.
I think we better put our clothes on if they're watching,
I'll unspotlight it myself. I really appreciate everybody being here and doing this because I just feel, music is so powerful, and it's kind of what it seems like it's missing from the national conversation. And just like Sparky with his finger in the dike, I feel like we got to do what we can.
That's right.
So here we are tonight, talking a little bit about it, encouraging musicians to get out there, write some songs, play some music for all of us. And I just like to ask if anybody has any comments. If anybody wants to, go on screen, that's fine. If I can make that happen. Annie, do you have some thoughts?
Do I have thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes. The one thing that we can do, we can sing, we can gather like this. We need to do more of it and be as positive as we can, because if we don't signal that there is hope, even way, way, way back, this is nothing new. It just is coming in a different form at us. There's always been bad and bad times and somebody trying to, do whatever. That I think with our music, that we can bring hope. We can be together. We bring all kinds of people together. But to me, what we do, our goal and stated goal is to make people happy and ourselves with our music. And that's what we can do. Maybe we can march, maybe we can do stuff like that occasionally. But really, we just need to be out there with that message. Love stands on the side of love, That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. I want to introduce a good friend, also a member of the Planetary Gig Society
Alex.
board, and I guess I need to ask her to unmute. Let's see.
There we go.
Alex Landry. Hi, Alex. Thanks for joining.
Alex.
Yeah, you bet. I am so grateful for this opportunity, Jefferson, to have this conversation. And, thank you, Rhonda and Sparky, for being here. This was so inspirational for me. It's first of all, I want to say thank you, Annie, too, for having your jam-packed kids, and what you are doing is so important for bringing the youth, along, and sharing that music, and just what you do is you're a saint. But it's so, like, we're going through such tough times right now, and what you were saying, Annie, about hope. It's so easy to get discouraged and feel beat up, and that things are so bad right now and so concerning that what does my little voice have, what can I do? And being here today and seeing all of you, Jefferson, and bringing your songs, this just really reinforces the power of music, and we can make a difference.
Yes.
We can make a difference in all of us in our own way through music, and we can raise the vibration of the planet. We can give hope and inspiration to people. So this was just such a wonderful reminder of that. So I just want to thank all of you for what you are doing, your own piece of this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Sparky, Rhonda, anybody else want to raise your hand and go on screen and make a comment?
Well, I'll say this for me. We do a lot. We incorporate a lot of history in our performances and talk about those things on stage. But as I think of the things that we have already been through as a country and a world, I think those things are important to know. And for instance, going through World War II, the Great Depression, people that did that, they didn't know how any of that was going to turn out. And then also the Civil Rights Movement and some of the horrific stories that came out of that, and some of the awful things that happened. And those people didn't lose hope, and they kept pushing and they kept pushing. And those stories are so inspirational to me. And I think that's to me is really important, and that's the source of my hope, that these people did that in the past. They made it through these horrible times. Sometimes, it looked maybe to them even worse than it does to us now. Mm-hmm. And so, if we just keep pushing and keep working and don't drop the ball, that's that's what gives me inspiration.
It's great. Thank you. Anybody else? I muted you, Annie, just so when Rhonda was talking, but well, we were talking.
Do you have any more poster pictures?
We were talking with the Planetary Gig Society board. What do we do? What should we do? Or do we have responsibilities? And so we're just doing this. If you have any ideas for us, if you have any ideas of what you want to do, let's just try to do it. That's all I can say.
I do want to say something. It is so easy for us to fall into despair during these times. But we have to fight this thing with love. That's why that whole thing of saying God is love, that's as close as you can get to that energy is to love. So when you're doing this, remember to even show compassion to those who are going astray, because they're being hurt by all these things too. So if we show them love and compassion, we will get them on our side.
Wise words. Thank you. Alex?
I want to, I totally agree with that. And I heard something profound once from Wayne Dyer, who talked about you can't fight anything, you can't fight against things because you're using that same frequency. The only way to fight against something is really to fight for something, and then you're operating at a higher vibrational frequency, and that's where change is going to happen. So being on the side of love, that is the answer. Absolutely.
Agreed. Annie, any final words? I think we're a little over an hour. We didn't have a time, but it's been so great just having you all here and hearing your songs. And I'll ask you to unmute again, Annie. Sorry. Yep.
I wanted to say something to Alex, because I think Alex used to host the chat for Victor Wooten's alumni. We need to do that again.
We actually, thank you, Annie. We actually brought that up at our last board meeting, and we're in the process of trying to get something on the calendar for that. Because just to remind everybody of, all the good things that experience of Wooten Woods brought us, and, to reconnect and kind of get that spark going again. So, yeah, thank you for that. We're working on it.
Good.
And Sparky and Rhonda, the reference was to a Zoom conversation that we had among people who had been to Victor Wooten's music camps. And, if that's something that is interest to you in terms of you want to set something up or anything like that, these are, important times. We can't be everywhere, but we can be on Zoom sometimes. Yeah. And, so,
Give us some thought.
Okay. Any final words?
That's it.
I just want to say thank you to everybody, because I know we had a few technical difficulties in the beginning and didn't quite get on Facebook Live on time. And then I forgot to start recording it for a couple minutes. So, but we'll just do the best we can.
That's
and
right.
It's the thought that counts, and we'll just keep going. We can do this. We can do this.
That's right.
Music is just so powerful, and I think we have an opportunity and the obligation to put it out there.
Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Appreciate
And
it.
I want to do the songs. I wrote them down about tear down the fences and that.
Okay.
So that was my question to you. What would be some good songs for us to do? We do a lot, but we don't do those.
I'm working on my list. Hopefully, when we go out and can
Good.
do some protest songs sometime. I'm sure Sparky has some. There are also
I know.
in this. Sparky can talk about this. What's this, Sparky?
Yeah, I've got that.
What is it? You told me about it and I got it. What is it?
That's the IWW songs. That's I learned all about that from Utah Phillips, who was Saul was with Utah when I met him. I met them both at the same time, and he turned a lot of us young activist folk singers onto that little red book.
It's full of songs to sing. Oh, it says to fan the flames of discontent. Here's one called "Dump the Bosses Off Your Back." All hell can't stop us. Up from your knees. So
That's cool.
that'll be some inspiration for people.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you
Thank you.
being here. I'll be in touch, Annie and Sparky and Rhonda. I really
Okay. Awesome. Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
And,
Great
and,
to
hello
meet you.
to my mother-in-law.
Yeah, my mom's on here.
Oh,
Oh, that's
you want to
good.
come on? I mean, I didn't want to.
I don't think she has a camera, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And Deborah, I need to send you a message.
Please do. This is wonderful. Please repeat this.
Right?
Well, maybe we will.
I think it's good. Get some more people. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Annie, for in our
Bye.
conversation to encourage me to do this. So
Yeah.
we'll keep talking.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was
Get
it.
out there and sing your songs.
Yeah.
And Annie, you tell those kids just if they be good, they can end up being old like me.
That's right. Yeah, they have my plan is 20 years now. But they all
Sometimes you
know.
got a popsicle behind you there.
Oh, is there a popsicle? Uh-oh, she got her pop. Yeah, they all get popsicles, man. We keep that industry in good stead.
We just played a concert for Jam, which is Junior Appalachian Musicians.
Yes, I know about
a
them.
week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
So here in Blount County.
Right. We are supposed to be sending them a bunch of instruments.
Oh.
Someone's going to come out and pick them up. We're like the repository for instruments.
Oh, that'd be great.
Strings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, Sparky, you know Rob and Rhonda, you know Robert Beatty, photographer?
my arms
I
bleed.
don't know.
Robert
I had to
Beatty.
see a picture.
Maybe, yeah.
Rhonda said I don't know him.
I thought you were asking if
Right there. Right there.
He
It's
lives
like,
there and
yeah, just a little piece.
She's my memory.
he lives there in
we're
song-
in trouble if that's the
I
case.
get skinned so easy and then,
he lives there in Sevierville. I visited with them. That's a beautiful part. Are you near there?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Very
very.
close.
Okay, well, I may be coming your way sometime. Going down there to
Let's hear
Victor
from you.
Wooten's camp in, in outside Nashville.
Okay.
That's about 200 miles away, Jeff.
Okay, well, that's why I got to stop somewhere. That's why I stopped at Robert Beatty's house. Okay, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thank you. See you later.
Okay, see you later, everybody.
Stay in touch, Annie.
Thank you. I
Stay in
will.
touch with us.
Now I
Okay.
know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, I was just bluegrass. Now I've got to, switch a little bit.
Yeah, you got to teach those kids some blues too.
I
That's
know.
a good way
Well,
to deal with when things go bad. Singing some blues makes you feel better.
absolutely, I know. So, in fact, we're going to be doing that. We have a great blues singer here, Sandra Bassett, and she's going to be helping us this summer. So, we'll be doing
When
it.
you next see Sule, you tell him we love him.
Oh, I will. He's going to teach at our little camp in June.
Yeah.
Touch all the time. I'll tell him. He'll be excited.
I know him too from the Archie Edwards Blues Heritage Foundation, the barbershop. I met him there
Right?
years and years ago. Yeah,
Well, he's still kicking.
he's still kicking.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
doing a lot.
he was doing a week. I hope it worked out in John C. Campbell. I hope that worked out. You know, John C. Campbell is another one of those folk schools.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's it's right on the border of Georgia and North Carolina.
Okay. Wow. I know I went to Gambia just not very long ago and did some folk stuff there. But he's doing a lot nowadays.
He sent me a surprise gourd too. I wasn't expecting it, so that was kind of nice. A nice gourd.
Right, yeah. And he's teaching gourd banjo making.
I'm gonna turn off the Facebook and the recording.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go probably.
All right. Thanks, Annie.
A poster board?
So are you
No,
ending
I
it or
don't
do we
have any.
press
I've
leave?
got to get some.
Okay.
Do you need it too?
No, we don't need any. He needs
Okay,
one.
I'm gonna buy
Sorry,
some.
what, Rhonda?
Are
Okay.
you ending this or do we press leave or what?
I can end this. If I end it, everybody just goes. So
Okay.
but I can do that. All right. Thanks, everybody. Really
Bye,
appreciate it.
everybody.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
We'll be in touch.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.